If you can think of someone who over the course of this much time played the same character with this amount of care, consistency, and commitment, I'd love to hear it.
He's a friend of mine.
Friend with a big mouth.
I hear that a lot.
And you probably hear this too.
More than I'd like.
And you know the drill. I'm gonna count to 3, and you're gonna start walking away.
I got rights to this one.
1.
I have a lawyer now.
2.
3.
Yeah, that boss.
You know the drill.
Logan stars Hugh Jackman for the 9th and supposedly final time as Wolverine, along with Professor X, Patrick Stewart in there too, and a little girl who joins them as they have to protect her from a mysterious dark force. They've said this will be their last time in the characters. Is it a worthy send-off? Here's 5 things you might want to know about Logan. I think the quick answer to that question is, yeah, I think it's a worthy send-off. We'll get into the details here in a second. First, though, big warning. You may have noticed rated R, not PG-13. Pay attention to that. It's for a reason. They ain't messing around here. The violence amped up, especially in this, in order to give more of a gritty adult take kind of on this world, going for that realism, that authenticity to what an adult version of this character might look like. Especially the violence, which honestly I think can be both a pro for the movie and a con. So let's get into those. Let's start on the negative impact of that, and then we'll get on to the good stuff. I think they go over the top too much with the violence, especially here. It's a little overindulgent, although that's kind of goes through all the things. It's like they're on Rumspringa. Some sort of Wolverine escaped his parents and can now do whatever he wants to do. Here's the thing. Going too far with that stuff affects the authenticity just as much as not doing that stuff does. So yes, it can feel a little more authentic to this character if he swears or is more violent. But at the same time, if you go too far and it's all F-bombs and really completely unnecessary nudity at one point in this movie, which didn't even make any sense to the story, you could tell it was just there because they knew they could throw it in. None of that stuff impacts the story in a good way. You have to find that balance. Just because the boundaries are gone doesn't mean you go willy-nilly. But here's the positive aspect of doing it. I think because of it, we have a deeper understanding of who Wolverine as a character, and it makes this action not only more intense, but also more creative, more visceral, more imaginative in many ways. It's interesting to think of Wolverine in the other movies now being tamed down in that way and just think, wait, that's not how he was built. There's nothing about his power and those claws and who he is that is meant to injure people. He's meant to kill people. And this movie embraces that in a way that I think really helps you understand that character on an even deeper level. Of course, none of that matters if Hugh Jackman isn't pulling this off like he has. How incredible is he as Wolverine? I'm really kind of sad to see him go, and he's the best he has ever been in this movie. This portrayal of an exhausted, end of the rope, end of the line kind of Wolverine is perfect for him because it plays off of this character's strengths in a really interesting way, and it gives him a chance to go deeper with this character than I think we've ever seen. And it's not just him. It's actually Professor X as well. The stuff he's dealing with as an older Professor X and the ramifications of that, and to see that rack his body and his mind is really powerful. And I'm glad we got to see it, even though I'm sad that we're watching them go. But ultimately, the reason this movie is notched up to the level it is for me, I think it has to do with the themes. I think that's where the real oomph in this movie is. There's some beautiful stuff here about family and home and what it means to be there for somebody. And I feel like what they did with this little girl coming into their lives is the perfect way for them to get across the message and point of this movie. And those themes are so consistent and so beautiful that I was really surprised by some of the emotions that I was experiencing. It was both, the journey of Wolverine in this is both heartbreaking and uplifting, somehow at the same time, and somehow both in a powerful way. And I think because of that, the movie ultimately succeeds. Overall, I feel like Logan is a perfect send-off for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It's a beautiful story with some great performances. Yes, it's over the top with the rated R stuff, but still they can't bring it down to any less than a B+. Thanks for checking out my Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the Best Ever Challenge here in a bit. Before we do, if you'd like to connect further, I'd love that. Hit me up on Twitter, Aaron Dicer, Aarondicer. Tweet at me there. I love having movie conversations on Twitter. You can also, of course, subscribe at YouTube, leave comments here, including comments for the Best Ever Challenge. And if you do podcasts, I'd highly encourage you to subscribe to SiftPop. On this week's SiftPop podcast, we ranked all 9 X-Men movies in order from worst to first, and we had to all of us agree on the final ranking. We call that Sift Sort. Anyway, SiftPop is the name of the podcast, SiftPop. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts. All right, on to the Best Ever Challenge, where you name the best movie ever in a particular category. Also try to identify my choice. What is the best Hugh Jackman movie ever? Now, I know you're looking for the secret to my pick, but you won't find it, of course, because you're not really looking. You don't really want to work it out. You want to be fooled. Take a guess at mine in the comments. You can leave your choice there as well. And as always, here's 5 extra seconds to hit the subscribe button. It's right down in this corner.